Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. We are in the third chapter of Bhrigu. I was asked to talk about Vijnanam Brahmeti Vyajanat Vijnanadyeva Kalvimani Bhutani Jayante Vijnanena Jatani Jivanti Vijnanam Prayantyapi Samvishantiti Tad Vijnaya Punareva Varunam Pitaramupasasara Adihi Bhagavo Brahmeti Tagangho Vacha Tapasa Brahma Vijijñasasva Tapo Brahmeti Satapo Tapyata Satapastaptva. Tapasya is what we have to do. We have all studied, understood intellectually. That is the joke. We have understood what Brahman is. Brahman is not something to understand. And that is where we go wrong. Brahman is our essential nature. Brahman is all that there is. But after a satsang, any satsang, we are, I understood. That was so wonderful. Are we there giving validity to the satsang? Are we there giving validity to the teacher? Are we there giving validity to the scriptures? Or are we in a satsang to subjectively orient ourselves when the words are falling on our ears? Dive back into yourself, because no satsang is talking about establishment of the world. No satsang is talking about how the world is beautiful, how the relations are beautiful, how the possessions are important, how the dhan is required, and how the pilgrimage is. No. If we are talking about satsang, especially the Upanishads or Bhagavad Gita, it is only for one purpose, and that is to introduce you to yourself directly. Aparoksha Anubhuti. And we, unfortunately, we go into intellectualization of it without applying the knowledge, without orienting ourselves towards the self. Instead, we get word oriented. Oh, that was a wonderful sentence. Can you please repeat it again? Oh, that was such nice. Vijnanam, what was it? Where are we? Vijnanam Brahmeti Vyajanat. Vyajanat. You have to know. Oh, I'm knowing. I'm knowing what teacher is saying. I'm knowing what scriptures is saying. Vyajanat. That's why he's still struggling. Who? Bhrigu. Because he is trying to know. There is no knowing. There is no knowing. Knowing must convert into being. After that, he will not go back to his father/teacher. But till he is contemplating, and we must contemplate in this way. This is the process. This is the application. As we told you last class, that the Brahma Vidya, Upanishad is Brahma Vidya. That is your nature, true nature. So he's already got that in the second chapter, Brahmananda Valli. But now it is the application. And what was the first? First one was Annam, where are we? Annam Brahmeti Vyajanat. Conquering Annamaya Kosh means What does conquering Annamaya Kosh mean? Conquering Annamaya Kosh means you are not influenced by birth and death. Annamaya Kosh is the gross body. You are undisturbed, uninfluenced, disentangled, not having any thoughts of birth and death when we have conquered Annamaya Kosh. And Bhrigu has done that. He saw that Annamaya Kosh is the effect, and there is something which is inspiring the Annamaya Kosh, and that is Pranamaya Kosh. So he comes to Pranamaya Kosh, then there he comes and he says, where are we? Prano Brahmeti Vyajanat, Pranadyeva Khalvimani Bhutani Jayante. The whole life is run because of the pranas. You must have seen that before, and we talked about it last week also in short. So what is conquering Pranamaya Kosh? Now we don't live as a slave of food and drink. That is Pranamaya Kosh. Annamaya Kosh, conquering, is equal to no thought of birth and death. A lot of mothers do this to their children. If you don't listen to me, I got only 5 more years left, 10 more years left, 2 more years left. My mother has been blackmailing us since she was 35, because we were so naughty. So she used to say, only 5 years left. If you don't listen to me, then nobody there to scold you also. And we used to behave. But now she's 80, 40 years she took us for a ride. See, now we caught the game. Now we give it back to her. That what you are going? I have already gone. How can you say, I can see you? I said, I had taken sannyas. I already burnt my body. Still, it hasn't got. She understands, but refuses to accept. This is what we also do. We understand, but we refuse to accept that which is our natural state. So conquering Annamaya Kosh, we go beyond the influence of birth and death. Conquering Pranamaya Kosh, we go beyond the attachment to food and drinks. Then what do we do instead when we are not influenced or continuously thinking what is for breakfast, what is for has the tea been made, then is there any snacks with the tea? Oh, nice, rainy clouds are there, can we make some pakoras? Then pakoda just finished. Now what is there for lunch? Lunch finished. Then when is the next tea coming at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock? And only tea, nothing else with that. What is this? Continuously thinking. Think about it yourself. When you go to India, do you still visit the places where you used to go as a youngster or a youth to eat? If you go and visit, you are still under the clutches of Pranamaya Kosh. You're still thinking, that restaurant and that corner road. But conquering Pranamaya Kosh means we find the joy in giving food and drinks, means drinks, not the other drink, quenching the hunger and thirst of others. That is called conquering Pranamaya Kosh. This is application, not just understanding and repeating like the Taittiriya. So conquering Pranamaya Kosh, we find joy and happiness in quenching other people's hunger and thirst. Then automatically you will come to the next level. Pran is because of whom? Who knows this? Where is this knowledge that I am breathing? That I have got hunger and thirst, that I am feeding, I find joy in other people's, feeding other people. Oh, it's in my mind. Oh, okay. You come to Manomaya Kosh. What does coming to Manomaya Kosh mean? That conquering Manomaya Kosh is equal to discovering freedom from joy and sorrow, because joy and sorrow is in your mind. Some people will appreciate you when you give food. Some people will curse you even after you give food. You want to give dakshina, you want to give bhiksha. I don't want to go to that place. What will you do? Even after eating from your hands, then they badmouth you. A normal person will go through the oscillation of joys and sorrows. Oh, I did so much for that person. I took care of that person. I gave accommodation to that person. I gave food to that person. And that person is bad-mouthing me. Look at that, ungrateful people. Or if someone says, oh, Amma, you have taken so much great care for me. Here is what you call, here is $10,000. You will love him till your end of your life because that person gave you 10,000. The one who has conquered Pranmaya Kosh, he discovers freedom from joy and sorrow. Joy and sorrow happen in the mind, and they are the result of, what is joy and sorrow the result of? Likes and dislikes. If I get what I like, I am happy. If I get what I don't like, then I am not happy. If what I don't like doesn't come to me, I am happy. So are we still susceptible to joys and sorrows in our life? Are we demanding a reciprocation from others for whom we have done so much in our life? If that expectation is there, that expectation is Manomaya Kosh. Giving up that expectation, giving up that regret, giving up that hope, giving up that wish for the future. Meaning, in other words, this student, this seeker, Bhrigu, who is sitting inside us, he has given up what? He has given up past and future. Only when you give up past and future, you can come to recognize or go beyond the Manomaya Kosh. Past and future is how the mind keeps busy. All the thoughts that erupt in our mind are only of past and future. In the present moment, we cannot have any thought. He contemplates. We are putting words, lot more words to explain what Bhrigu has done. But he came to understand this is the way the Manomaya Kosh entangles. And now that he was free from the oscillation of joys and sorrows, so he's free from birth and death, he's free from hunger and thirst, he's free from hunger and thirst, he's free from what do you call, from joys and sorrows. Now he comes to this next realization where he comes to this Vijnanmaya Kosh. He says, he goes and contemplates, and every time he has gone to his teacher, the teacher, and he asks, tell me what is, please tell me what is Brahman. Now he comes, he says, Vijnanam Brahmeti Vyajanat Vijnanadhyeva Kalvimani Bhutani Jayante. For whom is all this knowledge? For whom is Pranamaya, Annamaya Kosh? For whom is the Pranamaya Kosh? For whom is the Manomaya Kosh? He realizes that this mind, the oscillating mind, the cause of Prana and Anna, is also having a cause. And that cause for whom we are giving it a name Vijnanmaya Kosh, because in Vijnanmaya Kosh, the Aham comes about. So he says, yeah, all this information at Annamaya, Pranmaya, Manomaya, for whom? It is for me. Oh, mind cannot think. Mind is thinking for someone. Who is this someone? Ah, that's me, I. Oh, where is this I? Coming to I, to the exclusion of everything else. You have come to Vijnanmaya Kosh. You must have done in some text that the mind is nothing but a play between aham and idam, isn't it? Idam is Annamaya Kosh, Pranmaya Kosh, and Manomaya Kosh. The cause of Annamaya Kosh is Pranmaya Kosh. The cause of Pranmaya Kosh is Manomaya Kosh. This is idam. And what is aham? Aham is Vijnanmaya Kosh. It expresses in the Vijnanmaya Kosh. This is where the I appears. Mind is one, appears as two, or appears as five, we should say. So when he comes to this I, who is this I? Oh, I am not affected by birth and death. I am not affected by hunger and thirst. I am not affected by joys and sorrows. Now the question is, who is this I? As long as this I, Vijnanmaya Kosh I, as long as it is oriented towards Prakriti, as long as it's oriented towards the objects. What are the objects? Manomaya, Pranmaya, Annamaya. Through that, the whole world. As long as this fellow is thinking about them, he is an individual. When this fellow is remaining undisturbed in spite of them coming and going, he is Sakshi, witness. And when one lives like that for a long period of time as a witness of the Anna, Prana and Manomaya Kosh, undisturbed, slowly, slowly, their momentum becomes less and less and less. And when that momentum becomes less, then automatically the question appears, then who am I? If I have no, I can, till now he was popping himself up with relation to all these. Now there is no relation, no reference point. Now his question is, then who am I? What is this I? Our scriptures say I is, ego is. It's a misnomer. It's a ghost. But which ghost? That ghost which carries the load, the burden of the past memories. So are we continuously living in the past? Jaane kahan gaye wo din. You know, when we were in school, I have to go, every time I go to Delhi, I have to go to my school. I have to meet my schoolmates. I have to meet my college mates. I have to go to the places that I used to work. I have to go to the parantha galli where I used to have the aloo parantha, gobi parantha, muli parantha. Oh, I have to go and give donation to that charity where I used to always give. Are we still caught up in all that? Who is carrying all this memories? You have not heard me before, but in Melbourne, very often I use this terminal, this thought that Alzheimer's is a good thing. Dementia is a good thing, because life as we grow old is naturally making your mind free from unwanted thoughts of the past. Very good point. That is what scriptures are also saying. But we make it into a problem, and we start taking medicine and create more issues for ourselves. If we are rightly oriented towards the self, like Bhrigu, then Everyone there would have said, oh, he's having dementia. Let's take him to doctor. Oh, he's having Alzheimer's. He's forgetting all his past. Let's take him to the doctor. Here, naturally, life is helping us to clear our mind of the past thoughts. And we declare that it is a disease. It is a condition of the mind, which is not healthy. And doctors come to my class, they say, yes, Swamiji, clinically that is the diagnosis, but how you are putting it is also correct. I said, now you use that along with the medicine and make them stronger, make them comfortable with what is taking place. See? What have we achieved till now? What has ego achieved till now? By remembering. It has actually lost. It has lost living in the present moment when it is thinking of the past. That's all. So it's always a distance away from the present moment. Until unless we don't do these three practices of Annamaya, Pranmaya, Manomaya, Vyajanat, come to know them and their structure, their how they function, till then we will not be available. This is how I am unhealthily functioning as the ego, carrying the burden of the past. For that, again, do some exercise. If you have done the pranayam and a little bit of japa at the mind level, all this past will also start melting away. Don't be afraid at that time that you can't remember your husband. It's okay. Let him remember you. See, we have to become comfortable in being a nobody. And we are not comfortable with that proposition. We want to be somebody. We want to be someone. I want to be a wife. I want to be a husband. I want to be a son. I want to be a daughter. I want to be a listener. I want to be a seer. I want to be a taster. I want to be a thinker. I want to be I want to be someone or somebody. And that's where the problem lies for the ego. And you cannot address this problem of the ego until and unless the data with which the I associates itself, identifies itself, has not dissolved, has not been dissolved. Either you do through japa, through kriya yoga, through pranayama, through understanding, it does not matter, but do it. So when there is no data, it has melted away. It's not going to melt away completely. Every night also it melts away. You go to sleep. That is not a problem for you. You don't call yourself a demented person or a person with Alzheimer's because just while going to sleep, someone says, you know where you have kept the keys? Who cares, man? I don't know. That time nobody declares that he has got Alzheimer's or she's got Alzheimer's, that you are a forgetful person. Then why, when we are on the spiritual path, and our mind is not remembering, why do we declare that person is having a problem? This is that for us we are saying, Bhrigu Maharaj is not thinking in this way. He is only directly coming to the I. And when I has too many things to associate, it becomes strong. When there is nothing for it to associate with, identify with, less confusion and no crisis, no identity crisis. In such a seeker who has no crisis and no confusion, everything is clear. He has placed the Annamaya Kosh and given its proper place. He has given the Pranmaya Kosh its proper place. He has given the Manomaya its proper place. Just like we, as a child, we burn ourselves with fire. But today, we use fire because we follow the rules and regulations, and the fire has become our slave. We have not become its slave. Similarly, when we understand what are the rules with which the Annamaya works, Pranmaya works, Manomaya works, instead of becoming a slave of them and being burnt by them and getting entangled in them, now they work for us rather than we working for them. And that habit that you have created with these three koshas, now you bring to the Vijnanmaya Kosh. With clarity, because there is less thoughts to disturb you now. Now you are able to look at the I. What is its essential nature? Is it there in the first place? Till now, I was relating myself only with reference to these. Now these are not there. Then who am I? Then who am I? Then we realize that this I, at that moment, if there is nothing to relate, it is not called ego. Then it is the witness. If I is unaffected, uninfluenced, disentangled from the three koshas, then this I is the witness. It is the sakshi. Or you can say it becomes equanimous, whichever way you put it. And it has to be practiced again and again and again and again. Whether your eyes are open, your mind is working, and other times in a disciplined approach, morning, afternoon, evening. Now so many of you are at home. Come to this I. Systematically dissolve the body, the pranas, the mind, and come to the I. It will not happen by fluke. It will not happen by someone putting hand on our head. And while doing all this, don't forget the second chapter. This is the application. This application is taking place, and in the background is the second chapter knowledge, the Brahma Vidya. And that Brahma Vidya is Atman. That Atman is Brahman. In light of that, because that is not my experience at the moment, this Bhrigu has jumped into these exercises of dissolving or inquiring into the nature of Annamaya. First he says Annamaya is Brahman, then he realizes no, Pranmaya is Brahman, then he realizes no, Manomaya is Brahman. No, now he says Vijnanmaya, where the I appears, that is Brahman. Then he realizes that there is no ego also. That I also comes and goes with every reference point. The I is not permanent. And when this happens to him, when he gets this clarity that I am who am I? This I thought is also coming and going with every reference thought, the idam thought. Oh, Eureka! Sudden bliss emanates. Suddenly he is free. And naturally, next stage is what? While he's practicing this, for whatever moments there's the time span is not given, but when he must have been practices, or when you practice also, sometimes when you are doing bhajan or kirtan or japa or meditation, sometimes there is waves of bliss. Sometimes nothing happens. Other time, more bliss. Sometimes you go through one session with deeper and deeper ecstasy. Have you ever questioned where this ecstasy comes from? Have you ever questioned who is the experience of this ecstasy or bliss within? We never know. We become object-oriented. Oh, my body experienced horripilation. My mind was experiencing great joy. And to experience that horripilation and joy, we keep performing meditation and japa. Why should we be doing purification, japa and meditation? To empty the mind and come to be the eternal witness. But we don't do it with that orientation. We want to repeat. I have been doing puja for so many years, I'll keep doing it. I have been doing pranayam for so many years, I'll keep doing it. I have been doing manasi puja for so many years, I'll keep doing it. I have been doing japa for so many years, I'll keep doing it. It's a good habit, nothing wrong. But one must, last week also I told you, we must know what are how the unfoldment is taking place. If you are doing japa, vaikhari, madhyama, pashyanti, para. If you are doing kundalini abhyas, the 7 chakras go up to sahasrara. Your mind will be absolutely quiet. But mind becoming quiet is not equal to realize. Without knowledge, it is not equal to realization. If knowledge is not there, it will just lead to nirvikalpa samadhi and you are out again. Again, the world is there. Again, everything is there. So here the student, Bhrigu, till now, he was doing the practice. He had the kartrutva abhiman that I have dissolved the annamaya kosh with my understanding. I have dissolved the pranamaya kosh with my contemplation. I have dissolved the manamaya kosh with my inquiry. Now when he comes to the Vijnanmaya kosh, he is unable to dissolve himself. How can you dissolve the I? Yes, you can dissolve the I thought. And he realizes that this I thought is also for someone. It is because of someone. Because I thought is also coming and going. This feeling of I is also only an expression. Someone knows it. I am a waker, I am a dreamer, I am a sleeper. This is known by someone. I am the body, I am the pranas, I am the manomaya kosh, I am the vijnanmaya kosh. This is also known by someone. Who is that? No, I. Is it the I which is coming and going? The I thought? Thought is inert. In the last chapter, I heard that I am the unborn, the undying, I am the Satchidanand Swarup, I am the Nitya Buddha Shuddha Mukta Swarup. I am the all-pervasive, I am one without a second. But this I thought is coming and going. I cannot be that one. The moment, it's just one flick from thinking about this to thinking about what is the source. Because of whom is this I thought coming and going? He comes to realize Vijnanmaya kosh dissolves for him. Conquering Vijnanmaya kosh, overcoming Vijnanmaya kosh means giving up of doership. Now, nothing to do, nowhere to go. Our Swamiji says, nothing to do, nowhere to go. Because he has come to realize that the I thought is coming and going. It was the identification of the I thought with all others that was creating these various roles and personalities. But the one, now all this has been pacified. I thought is there. He has come to realize that there is someone who is witnessing that even this I thought is coming and going. Vijnanmaya Kosh. These are only words, okay? This happens when we are, if you try to do this straight away, it will not happen because these first three steps have not taken place. Next step is, then he says what here? And when he realized that, again he went, Punareva Varunam Pitaram Upasasara Adihi Bhagavo Brahmeti Tagang. Please tell me what is Brahman. He did not say at any given time that I have come to this stage, please explain. I have come to this stage, please explain. I have come to this stage, please explain. He did not say anything of that sort. Every time he came to his father, Varuni, he only asked one question, please tell me Brahman. And Varuni, who is the self-realized father come teacher, when he looks at the disciple, a look is enough for him to assess where the student is. One look, for an adept master, one look is enough because he has gone through all that himself. Like you people, all mothers, you know, you take a look at the dish, you know the color is not right. You will put extra haldi or extra, or just a slight taste of the dish, and you know how to fix it. All moms are great at it. The teacher looks at the student, at the disciple. By mere look, he comes to know what is lacking, what stage he is in, how much salt is required, how much sugar is required, if there is a requirement of some squeeze of lemon or some chili. And the teacher, what did he say? Go and do tapasya. That's all. He didn't say do this or do that. He said go and do tapasya. That means you are still uncooked. You have not become ripe yet. But every time he has gone to the teacher, he has gone deeper and deeper into himself, into his personality. Now he is at the threshold of the personality, the I. Again he goes back, and then it comes, what? Anando Brahmeti Vyajanat Anandadhyeva Khalvimani Bhutani Jayante Anandena Jatani Jivanti Anandam Prahantya Visambishantiti. Only up till there. Then when he comes, now has it been told here that the student Bhrigu, he went and dissolved the Anandamaya Kosh? No. He doesn't go and work out on the Anandamaya Kosh. Why? He has been, from the beginning, he has been attentive towards what? He has been attentive towards being the subject. He has had the subjective approach. Majority of the seekers who do meditation, who do japa, who do, the objectively listening to satsang, after some times, it sounds like a lullaby and you go to sleep. Why are you going to sleep? Only one reason. We are not subjective. We are objective. The height of objectivity is Anandamaya Kosh. It is the cause of all other koshas. So where, and what is its expression? A deep sleep. But have we seen that Bhrigu is going into deep sleep? No. Is he going into different levels of ecstasy and bliss in the Anandamaya Kosh? No. When he inquires, he discovers that Anandmaya Kosh is nothing but Brahmanandam. Because of subjective approach. This is how we concluded last class, because I put it in a nutshell for you people. So it is very, very important that whenever we come to the seat of meditation, whenever we start doing japa, why only do we doing japa and meditation? When we are living our daily life, we must be living with subjective awareness. They say, no, live life with awareness, live life with awareness. Awareness means not aware of the fan is going on, the laptop is reflecting my image, that I am aware that you people are all there. This is not awareness. Awareness is when we are subjective, in spite of all the forms, names, experiences at the worldly level, Annamaya, Pranmaya, Manomaya, and Vijnanmaya. Awareness is not I thought. Awareness is not aham. Awareness is other than aham. It's other than the ego. Awareness is that which knows. When I put this statement in front of you, that do you know yesterday you had gone through waking dream and deep sleep? You will all say yes. That is awareness. That is the self. That is Atman. Now, who said, if you said yes, who said yes? Waker cannot say yes. Dreamer is not present at this moment. Sleeper is not present at this moment. Waker cannot say, does not have the experience of waking and dream. Then who is saying and accepting and acknowledging that these three states came and went yesterday and for all since birth? For that flick of a moment, you are you, the real you. But very quickly again, the koshas take over. And for that purpose, the Annamaya Kosh has to be pacified and worked out so that it doesn't entangle us. Pranmaya Kosha is worked out so it doesn't entangle us, or we don't get entangled in it. Manomaya Kosha, same way. I thought, same way. I thought or ego, the same way. And I gave this example last week. Again, I am going to repeat it because that's the example I know. And what is that? You keep thinking of sleep. How long do you think of sleep? As long as the thought of the waking world is there in your mind. Till then, you will not sleep also. So you replace the thoughts of the world with the thought of the sleep. And you keep contemplating, keep thinking, keep surrendering to sleep. I want to sleep. I'm sleepy. I'm going to sleep. I'm so tired. I'm sleepy. I'm sleepy. I'm gone. It's coming and going, coming and going. In that focus on the thought of sleep, you are not available to the thought of the waking. And all the thoughts of the waking, they keep popping up in your mind, but you are not available. They die away. When all of them have died away, there is still one thought left. And that thought is, I am sleepy. When the last but one thought goes away, now you don't need the thought of the sleep, that I am sleepy, to counteract the other thoughts. When the last but one thought dies, the thought of sleep also dies and you become absorbed, you become one with the sleep. The waker also dies. Remember this. Waker also is not there anymore. It was the waker who was thinking, I'm sleepy, I'm sleepy, I'm sleepy. If this, the way it was put across, if that is understood, exactly the same thing Bhrigu is doing with himself. He's not allowing the thoughts of Annamaya, Pranmaya, Manomaya to influence him. Then he's not even allowing. He has worked out that even the I thought is coming and going. I am not the I thought. But he's not foolish that I thought is not there. Then there is nothing. No, that will be a nihilistic approach. No, there is someone knowing that there is no I thought. There is someone knowing that there was an I thought. Oh, who is this? That is the Atman. What is Atman was told in the second chapter. So when Bhrigu comes to this Anandamaya Kosh, he does not enter Anandamaya Kosh. He bypasses it. It is only a language of communication. He bypasses it. In other words, he recognizes Ananda, absence of all thoughts, cessation of all thoughts, cessation of past and present, past and future. That's where the thoughts are. Having given up the doership, nothing there, nothing is not equal to Anandamaya Kosh. Nothing is equal to, his attention is on the subjective self. And that is Brahmananda. Because if he enters into Anandamaya Kosh, nothing wrong. Devotees do that. Then go through Bhurbhuva Swa Tapa Janamaha Satyam. Go through those cases. But Jivan Mukti will not be possible. Going through the 7 chakras, going through without this knowledge, only taking those, that step-by-step liberation to be the reality, only coming up to the Ishvara, rebirth is guaranteed. Jivan Mukti is possible only when we understand everything in its place and what is its nature. In the end, what is my nature? My nature is not the Annamaya Kosh, my nature is not the Pranmaya or Manomaya or Vijnanamaya. And people talk about Anandamaya because that is the trap, it is the Maya. It is out of that everything has come out. That is the matrix. That is the causal level from, and what is that? Here he afterwards says, what does he say? So when he Anandena Jatani Jivanti, Anandam Prayanti Visamvinshanti thi. Normally, we understand, we have joy always with modification. Joy with modification means what? That joy which comes and goes. He has discovered joy without modification, meaning without reference point, meaning without any thought. And even no I thought. That is Brahmanandam. Saisha Bhargavi Varuni Vidya. Thus, this was the Bhargavi or the Varuni Vidya. The knowledge. Remember one thing, the teacher only spoke up till the 2nd chapter. Brahmanandvalli. Till now, the teacher has not, all he said is go and do tapasya. That's all. He did not answer the question. And this is another important point. Whenever we go to a teacher, the teacher doesn't address the question. He addresses the person. He addresses the individual. And he tries to bring the attention of the individual to the essence. And any teacher, his whole orientation is how to bring the questioner back to the original. But the questioner thinks that my question is so great, my question is so important, my question is, nobody has been able to answer it till today. Teacher never answers any question. He answers the person, and he will tell that which is going to help that person. And sometimes students then don't go back to their teacher. They think, he doesn't know anything. Bhrigu did not go back. He did not run away. My father is stupid. He doesn't know anything. He didn't say. He asked, what is Brahman? He said, go and do tapasya. Not one single. Nothing was explained what tapasya he has to do. He did himself. He analyzed himself. And every time he went back, he told, go and do tapasya. Go and do tapasya. And when we bypass here, when he says, Saisha Bhargavi Varuni Vidya Parame Vyoman Pratisthita. Parame Vyoman. Vyoman is what? Space. Pratisthita, established. Are we established in nothingness? Or have we been subjective, and when nothing is there, our attention is on the subject, is on the essence. Another word is on the presence, in the absence. Absence is Vyoman. And our scriptures explain it three ways: the Bhutakash, Chittakash, and Chidakash. The total space, the gross space, the mental space, and the conscious space. And the conscious space. The source, just like everywhere it was cause and effect. Annamaya Kosh cause was Pranmaya, Pranmaya cause was Manomaya, Manomaya cause was Vigyanmaya. Vigyanmaya cause, he didn't go looking for the cause. From Vigyanmaya, he jumped into, landed in the self. Going into Anandamaya Kosh means going to Ishvara. It's okay. At least you will be trouble-free. Because it's Ishvara's Maya. See? So, what is the source? What is the cause of Bhutakash? Which is the container of the entire universe? The cause is Chittakash. How do you know Bhutakash? The gross space? Only because you have a mind. If there is no mind and only senses, will you be able to know? You will see, but you don't know what it is. Knowledge will not take place. Knowledge takes place only at the mind level. So what is the space in which all the knowledge is taking place? The thought knowledge is taking place. That is Chittakash. That is mental space. In that mental space, there is one thought called space, the gross space. With that one thought called gross space, Jada Akash, with that has come the whole universe. Oh my God, it all came out of me, out of my mind. Yes, it came out of your mind. Now, when you come to this point in Vigyanmaya Kosh towards the end, as we were explaining, then you realize that even the mental space, which is the container of Like mind was the container of the total gross space, similarly, I am the container of the total mental ingredients, which are nothing but thoughts. Thoughts are coming and going, the world is coming and going, so it is inert. Thoughts are coming and going, emotions are coming and going, therefore it is inert. If joy is coming and going, it is inert. But the student has come to realize, pratishtita, Vyoman pratishtita, he has come to realize that I am not coming and going. I have always been. I am the constant one. The emptiness may become full, or fullness may become empty. But I continue to be, even in the emptiness. So he's not focused on the emptiness, he's focused on himself. Like, for example, if we are in a dark dungeon, no light of any sort, when you have put all the shutters down and you have entered the house, no light anywhere, not even that microwave, what do you call, the timer light, that also is not there. No night lamp, pitch dark. Nothing your eyes cannot see anything. Are you not there? They can't even see you can't even see your own form. But are you not there? Exactly like that. On the seat of meditation, when mind has become completely empty, even I thought is not there. At that very moment, when the last thought goes away, you are the conscious presence. You are not the inert absence. This is called as Parme Vyoman Pratishtita. Saya evam Veda Pratitishthati. Thus, he who knows becomes becomes established. At this point, knowing and being is one. At our stage, when I'm talking and you are listening, it is also one. But if we are not attentive, if we are not being the one, then for I understand means I know what you are saying, sir. But it is not, it is eluding me every time. I know what just now when you gave the example that I am the knower of, I am the illuminator of, I am the source of waker, dreamer, sleeper. I understand, yeah, I cannot be, I am other than the waker, dreamer, sleeper. But then how to be it? Again, question comes, how to be it? You want to do something. The process of spirituality is to undo. Tyage naike, amritatva manashuhu. Not karme naike. It says, na karmana na prajaya dhanena. We have to go beyond. And who does? The doer does. Till now, he was doing. Now, in Vijnanmaya Kosh, he has caught this doing business. Who is doing this? When he looks for it, he finds there is no doer also. Because it is for the doer, there is an enjoyer. Doer himself appears as enjoyer and doer and enjoyer. But now when there is no doer, there is no question of landing into Anandamaya Kosh. If you are subjective. If there is no doer, there is no question of falling into Anandamaya Kosh. You bypass the Anandamaya Kosh and you land, you discover that Brahmananda, which is your nature. And how do you understand, realize it? You realize it without a thought. This is where existence and consciousness become one. Existence is being, consciousness is knowing. When knowing and being become one, then your entire expression in life will be the resultant bliss. That is the potentiality. That is the Shakti. When knowing and being is one, this is very beautifully explained in Amrit Anubhav. When you look at the Shiva Shakti Samavesh, Shiva is Satchidanand Swarup. He is ever established in himself. Paramashiva. He is one without a second. But when he desires to know himself, why? Just like that. This is from our point of view, we are saying that. So the resultant potentiality, the resultant Shakti, with reference to that Shakti, he is called as Shiva. Paramashiva, becoming aware of his potentiality, is called as Shiva. Shiva is also knowing himself completely. He is not influenced by his Shakti. He is not enslaved by his Shakti. He is not entangled into the Shakti. And therefore, that Shakti is ever integrated. Uma Parvati, she is ever integrated. Now, in this light, when you look at yourself, that one, that Atma alone is expressing as Aham and as the mind. Is the mind integrated? No. Why? Because it is object-oriented. Uma Parvati is always Shiva-oriented. She knows she's Ardha, the half of, she's the potentiality of the Lord. Last week, I don't know if it was last week, but we just concluded the first chapter of Adhyatma Ramayana. Sita says Ram did not do anything. He was neither born nor dying, nor he killed anyone, nor he went to Vanvas, nor he was banished from the kingdom. Nothing. I am the one who made him appear that way. Sita ji is telling Hanumanji. Who is Sita ji? The Avyakta, the unmanifest. Because Shakti has got two polarities, unmanifest and manifest. So she is telling Hanumanji, understand Ram, that he is the untouched one. He is the self-luminous one. He is the self-established one. He is the self-knowing. Bhrigu here has come to know himself as the constant one. Now existence is equal to consciousness. They have become one. Knowing has become, knowing and being is one. This is the state that he has come to now. This is his realization. Saya evam Veda pratitishthati. So now he is established in what the Vedas declare. See how beautiful the whole unfoldment is. Annavad nannado bhavati mahan bhavati prajaya pashubhir brahma varchasena mahan kirtya. The eater of food becomes the food. Annavan annado bhavati. Food is what? Food for the mind is thoughts. Okay, let's go outside. Let's start from outside. What is the world? It is the food for the senses, isn't it? What are the senses? It is all the stimuli that are coming in. It is the food for the mind. Just like when we eat food, we think we are eating food to nourish ourselves, but the food is eating us from inside continuously. Our body was born out of food, And this body will go out of existence because that food is eating us. When we overthink, when we think too much about the world, when we think too much about relations, possessions, past, future, doesn't thinking lead to anxiety? Isn't it eating your mind? Isn't it taking away your balance? Isn't that stress and strain and thought fixation and anxiety and regrets, are they not eating away your happiness? Food eating food, whether it is gross or it is emotional or it is intellectual, it is eating you, meaning it will exhaust you. It will bring you to closer to death faster. Worst case scenario, suicide. Before the prescribed time, you decide, I can't handle this. Annavad annado bhavati. And the person who has recognized this, that this whole creation in which this panchakoshas are there, this whole creation, it is self-generating and self-destroying. The entire creation is eating itself continuously. Born out of food, eating itself again and destroying itself. Everything in this creation. The one who catches this principle of creation, what happens to him? Mahan bhavati prajaya pashubhir brahma varchasena. Oh, the one who recognizes this, he becomes, for such a person, he becomes great. Great meaning what? Great means he is unaffected by this. And as a result of this, all what is a common man continuously living for? Anna, Pashu, Putra, etc. And Dhana. All this comes in plenty without asking. There is no daridrata in his life. He may be a bhikshuk. He may be a bhikshuk. But for him, living under a tree or living in a palace has the same value. What is the value? Zero value. And therefore he has then he says, Brahma Varchasena. And because he is not looking forward to anything. Last time, I went to this Amma's place for Bhiksha. It was wonderful. Let's go there. Brahma Varchas is gone. Brahma Varchas is the Tej. Tej, how does the Tej come? From contemplating on Brahman. To contemplate on Brahman, you have to recognize you are the Atman. To recognize the Atman, you have to recognize you are not Annamaya, Pranmaya, Manomaya, Vijnanmaya, and remain awake without going to sleep. I brought you from top to bottom. Now again, traverse the way back. It can happen in few seconds or it can take lifetimes. It is immediate because you are not away from yourself. See, we are trying to know that infinite one through finite thoughts. It is not possible. Infinite number of finite thoughts is not equal to infinity. And we are the infinite being in essence. Brahman. There's nothing lacking. So when people only talk about that, annam putram pashu and dhana, that is not the point. The point is that this person is not requiring anything for survival. Why? Because he is the all that there is, knowing is being. And that brings about the Brahma Varchas. He stands like a glowing sun amidst people. Disease doesn't touch him, hunger doesn't touch him, likes and dislikes don't touch him. Past and future don't touch him. Waker, dreamer, sleeper don't touch him. They all come and go, but nothing is able to entangle him. Nothing is able to entangle him. For whom, how can you say that all these come and go? We are saying it from our point of view. When we see realized masters, we see, you don't see the pure consciousness. You are seeing the form. You are seeing their actions. Some Mahatmas you see, they are just shining like anything. Some others, our attention, why is he smoking? Oh, a realized master should not smoke. Who are you to judge? Who are you to judge? Mahan Kirtya, and without wanting it, there's no desire in them for that. But such a person who is established in the Brahma Vidya as the self, his name and fame spreads far and wide. Mahan Kirtya. His glories, his Kirti. Kirtya is Mahan Kirtya. His glory is great glory. See? And in this manner, when the student has come to this conclusion that he is the constant principle, that he is the Atman, now the journey from Atma to Brahman is also there. That doesn't happen after knowing Atma. So while he is meditating, the teacher will just annam na nindyat tad vratam prano va annam shariram annadam prane shariram pratishtitam sharire prana pratishthitah tade tadannamanne pratishtitam saya etadannamanne pratishtitam veda pratitishthati annavadnannado bhavati mahan bhavati prajaya pashubhir brahma varchasena mahan kirtya. Now he tells him, after all that is done, now when you coming to know that you are that, it happens in samadhi also. But how do you, when you open your eyes, is the world Brahman or is the world again husband, wife? Okay, yaar, I have to run back into samadhi. This is too much. This world. So now we have to convert the world also. We have to see the world also as Brahman. For that, this upasana is given in the next verse, which Mataji can explain next time, or we'll conclude here, I think. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnaat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Just sit quietly for 10 seconds. Let it sink in. Just Hari Om.